All right, now we'll do our third type of walk cycle. We're going to do the character walking against a still background. I have the Lucky Easy Walk that we did, where Lucky is just a movie clip traveling across the stage. And we're going to have, by the time we're done, we'll have a similar effect. But this is going to be more difficult because you sometimes need the character to interact with the background, and it's not enough to just do this easy walk where you have the movie clip and you just do a motion tween and move it from left to right. You might need the character to stop, for instance, stop at the table and do some interaction and then move on, or you might want to have the character hop somewhere, or there are reasons that you want more control of where the character is and where their feet strike on the floor and that sort of thing. So when you need that control, the simple movie clip and a motion tween won't be enough. So we're going to do that more difficult method just to show you how it's done. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do, I've opened up LuckyEasyWalk.fla, the one where he just walks with a motion tween. And I'm going to go to layer 1 where that motion tween is. I'm going to control press, and I'm going to do remove motion. And now the motion is gone. Okay, so that's gone. All right, and then I'm going to resave this file just so I don't mess up my original. I'm going to call this, let's call it Lucky. I'm going to call this still background. There we go. So I'll just call it the Lucky still background. All right. Now, we need to change the nature of this movie clip here. It's currently, if I go to properties, it says it's a movie clip. Well, I need to change it. Because we need to control each step. We're going to change this from a movie clip to a graphic symbol. It's a movie clip symbol. Now we're going to press on that and go to graphic. Okay. All right. And what happens is it's gone. The reason he looks different is changing that. It's gone to the first frame of his movie clip, and that's what he looks like in frame 1. All right. So now he's a graphic symbol. Okay. And I'm going to scrub the film here, and I get to see him walk now. I couldn't see him walk before unless I went inside the movie clip. But turning it into a graphic means I do get to see it. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to position Lucky here to the left, and that's about right. And I need a guideline. So I'm going to put a guideline to where his heel strikes the floor, like that. Okay, so so that's frame 1. Okay, and his heel is striking the floor. He's just entering the picture frame. Okay, now I'm going to go to 2 and put a keyframe, F6, and you can see that his pose is different. It's the next part of that walk cycle. But he's walking in place, so his feet are just slipping back. So what I want to do is I want to change that. I want to accommodate that. So I'm going to use this guideline to place Lucky forward. I'm nudging him to the right with the arrow key. And what I've done is I've nudged him back to where that heel is touching the guideline again. So if I go to 1, 2, 1, 2, there you go. So you see he's actually interacting with that floor. His feet are planted. They're not slipping. He's not walking in place. He's actually moving forward. And we're just going to continue this process. All right. Let's see. The next thing we need to do, I'll go to frame 3. And he's moved again. I'll hit F6 to make a keyframe. Once again, I will nudge him to the right until his heel matches the guideline. And then I'll go to frame 4, make a keyframe, nudge him right until the heel matches the guideline. So these first 4 frames, that's going to work. Dun, 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 dun. And he's moving forward and his foot is planted. Okay. Now, on frame 5, his heel is starting to lift up. So that guideline is not going to work anymore. So we need a different guideline for reference. So I'm going to get another guideline. And let's see, first let me go back to frame 4, and I'm going to get a guideline, and I'm going to have this guideline go to the front of his foot, right, the edge of the toes right there. That's going to be our new reference point after frame 4, so I'm putting it there. Alright, so when I go to frame 5, I will hit F6, and I will use the arrow key and nudge him to the right so that his toes touch that guideline. And you can see there's 4, his toes are touching that guideline, and 5, they're still touching it as his heel lifts up. Alright. And same thing for frame 6. I'll go to frame 6, make a keyframe, and nudge him to the right until that top foot, the toes, are touching that guideline. Okay. Now on frame 7, the heel is striking the ground again, so I'm going to need another guideline. Let's see, there's frame 6, 7. Okay. So I'll go to frame 7, I'll make a keyframe. Okay. Once again, I will nudge him to the right so that his toes are still lined up there. Okay. Alright. And then frame 8, I'll make a keyframe. And this time, I'm not going to move the guideline, but I'm going to move Lucky's. I'm not watching these toes anymore. I'm now going to watch the heel of that foot. So I move the guideline there, and well, the guideline is still where it is, and I move Lucky to the right so that the heel is matching the guideline that I made. So there we go. So for the first few frames there, I was looking at those toes, and now I'm looking at the heel of the other foot on that guideline. Frame 9 and 10, we'll use that same guideline. Here's frame 9, F6, nudge him to the right so that that heel meets it. Frame 10, I'll hit F6, make a keyframe, nudge him to the right again, see if it looks correct. There we go. Okay. Alright. Alright, frame 11, heel's starting to lift off again. Let me make a keyframe, frame 11. So I'll go back to frame 10 and create another guideline here at the edge of the toes. And then at frame 10, nudge him to the right so that the toes are meeting that guideline. Like that. Okay. And I'll keep using that guideline for frame 12. Nudge him to the right. And then 13, one more time I'll use that guideline, nudge him till the toes are there. But then with 13, even though I keep using this guideline, I'm now not going to be looking at the rear toes. I'm going to be looking at this top heel again. So that guideline will still be useful, but as I go to frame 14, I'm looking at that heel now. There we go. And then F6, nudge him to the right. F6, nudge him to the right. And then again, just whenever now that his heel is starting to lift up again, I'm going to put the guideline at the front of his toes. And so I'll hit F6 here at frame 17, like that. Okay. F6, and basically you just continue this. Continue this process. And that's how you make sure that your character interacts with the walk cycle. Heel and toe, okay? And there he goes. He's walking along that floor, and he is interacting with that floor. He's not just a movie clip that is not related to the floor at all. And this just gives you the opportunity for him to stop, do things in the middle of his walk cycle. He's really here. He's not just an automatic movie clip that just keeps moving and doesn't stop. Okay? All right, we'll save this, and that is the end of that walk cycle.